Hey people, so today we are going to discuss Leetcode problem, remove duplicates from sorted list. So in this problem we are given a head of sorted linked list and we have to delete all the duplicate nodes that are present in the given linked list and we have to return the linked list in the sorted form. So if I have to give you an example, like if there is a linked list which has nodes 1, 1 and 2, since 1 is repeating twice, we have to remove this node and this link as well, and we have to return the remaining nodes in the form of linked list. Okay, so that's the whole problem is all about. If this is the linked list that we have, one way of dealing with it is to completely traverse through entire linked list and copy all the numbers that we have into a list. Okay, and we'll be, after the traversal of the linked list, we'll be getting a list of values 1 1 1, and then you convert this into a set of values. If you perform set operation on this, you will be getting set of 1 and 2, and you again convert it into list and it will be 1 and 2, and now you traverse through this entire list one element after the other and you create a linked list out of it and return its head. Then it will be 1 which is pointed to 2 and you return this head. Okay, so this is one process. Okay, so for this, like, since you are using this extra space and you are traversing through the entire linked list twice, so the time complexity would be order of n for traversing throughout the list two times, and the space complexity would also be order of n since you are using extra space for set and lists. Okay, and also for the linked list in the final step. So this is not an effective solution. This is just a brute force solution. Now we have to move towards an updated and optimized solution. Let's see how we deal with this problem. So in these kind of problems, we generally use a concept called two pointer concept, which is quite popular technique in linked list problems, and let me explain you how. So in this kind of problems we'll be using two pointers, let's say first here and a second pointer, and we are using these two pointers and we are trying to modify the linked list with these two pointers according to our problem requirements. So that's the approach that we are going to follow in for this problem, and let me explain you how. We'll be having two pointers, let's just say first and second pointers, and these will be pointing to head. Okay, let's say this is the head pointer and first will be pointing to head pointer and for a second pointer would be pointing to head dot next pointer. Okay, and what we are trying to do is we are going to iterate through this entire linked list and we'll check if the first pointer's value and the second pointer's value are same or not. If it is same, then we are going to remove this second node and we are going to update it with the second dot next. So our second node will be pointing to this node now, and our first node's next value we are going to link it to the second node. Okay, so if I have to show you the updated linked list, then it will look something like this. So this is our first node, this is our second node, and this is the new link up. So let's just say if we have one more node which has 2 value here, then we are going to iterate this through the entire loop, right? Entire linked list, right? So now we are going to increment our first and second nodes because we have just got done with the upgradation of the linked list, right? We are going to increment it. So our first and second nodes will now look like something like this. So this will be our first node, and this will be our second node. Okay, once we have updated these first and second nodes, we'll be checking again whether our first values are same or not, first dot value and second dot value are same or not. If so, we'll be doing the same step again as I've just mentioned. Okay, so as second doesn't have any value, it will be pointing to null. So I'll be updating my second to null, that is second will be coming here, and I'll be updating my first dot next with the current second value, and I'm removing these node. Okay, so it will look something like this, right? So this is going to be our updated linked list. So this is the whole problem, and let's get to the code part first. So if you look at the code, this is the first and second pointers that we have initially initiated with head and head dot next, as I've mentioned, and this is the base condition. That is, if we do not have either one node or either two nodes, let's just say if we just have a single node, that is one, and or else we don't have any linked list, then we have to simply return these whatever that is present, right? Either if we have only one node, we have to return only that node. If we don't have any nodes in our linked list, we have to just return this empty linked list, right? So that's what this step is doing. And once that is done, this is the traversal part that I was talking about. So while we have both first and second nodes, we are going to check if we have first node and we have second node, and if our first node dot value is equals to second node dot value, which is in this case, as I've just mentioned, if both the values are same, then what we are going to do is we are going to update our first dot next with second dot next. That is, this node, we are going to update the next value of first node with the second dot next value, and we are updating our second node with the second node dot next, which will be looking something like this. And this process keeps happening until we have both first node and second node and both these values are same. So once this is done, this while loop is getting executed and getting out of it, and we'll be checking if we have both first and second node, then we have to iterate, right? Let's just say if we don't have this step, or else let's say if we have something like 1 and 2, right, and our first pointer is pointing to this node and the second pointer is pointing to this node, then after getting into this while loop, we have to move forward, right? Because at every iteration we are moving one step closer to the right end of the linked list, right? So that's our aim. So at our first step, we have to move here, our first pointer should move here and second pointer should move here, and similarly one step by step we have to move towards the end of the linked list, right? So for that step, this is the incrementation part. Once this loop gets executed, we'll be left with the sorted list which does not have any duplicate nodes. Okay, so this will be our final linked list that we'll be getting after this loop gets executed, and so we are just returning the head of the linked list. So that's the problem, guys, and the time complexity for this would be order of n, since we are traversing through the entire linked list, and the space complexity remains order of 1, since we are just taking two constant variables, first and second. So this is a pretty optimized solution rather than the compared to the brute force solution, since we have optimized the space complexity here. And yeah, that's it for this video. So if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. That keeps me motivated to make more videos. Thank you.